Hi there, welcome back to JD Answers. Today I have the SSONTONG front and rear dash camera review. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you get in the box, and then we're going to go ahead and go over all the features. We're going to go over the front dash cam. We're also going to go over the rear dash cam and go over again the specifications of what it has and what it can do. And then at the end, we're going to go ahead and show you some driving footage. And then you can make a decision, is this dash cam right for you? Alright, so let's see what we get in the box. In the box, you get the front dash cam, rear dash cam, a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, a suction cup, mini USB cable, car charger with a USB interface, which means you can plug in another device to it, an SD card reader, wiping cloth, tool stick, and a user manual. The length of the power cable is 11.4 feet long, and the rear camera cable is 19.6 feet long. Now this dash cam comes with a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. My recommendation is to use a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. The 32 gigabyte micro SD card is great because it's giving you something to start with. But eventually your files are going to be adding up and you're going to need more room. Especially when you have G-Sensor, when you activate that, and of course if you get parking mode, because what you do is you need more space for your loop recording. But we're going to get to all that later. But I'm just letting you know, it's probably best to get you a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. And I'll put some links for that in the description down below. What else I like about this, it has a micro USB cable in which you could connect your laptop to it, or even take the dash cam off and connect it to your computer, and you could use it as a mass storage. What is a mass storage? It's pretty much like a thumb drive, flash drive. That's pretty much, and it works the same way. But it also gives you a card reader in which, rather than taking your laptop to your vehicle or your dash cam to your computer, you could simply take out the micro SD card and put it into this card reader, and then put it into your computer or laptop, and pretty much it just works as a flash drive. And then from there you could transfer your files or copy and paste your files to your computer. But that's only if you need files. Most of the time, you won't even work with it. You just leave everything in the camera. The only time you really need footage from your dash cam is there's an accident or incident that you want to save. All right, so now let's get into the dash cams and the rear camera itself. Now, I don't have the dash cam in front of me because it's in my vehicle, but I'll show you some pictures. That way you can see what I'm talking about. Now with this, it does come with a 3-inch LCD screen, which is actually a nice screen. It's a clear screen, especially when you're viewing or playing back your videos. Say you get an accident or just an incident you want to watch. You could play it back under playback mode in your dash cam, and it'll have a good picture for you. Now this is also good if you connect the red wire to your tail lights and use this as a backup camera. It'll give you a good picture with this. So this is nice. Now, you may not need the backup camera because most vehicles now come with a standard backup camera, but we have a lot of older vehicles out there that still need that backup camera function. Now, the front camera records at a 1920 by 1080p with 30 frames per second. This also has an f1.8 aperture, and it's 170 degrees wide angle lens, which pretty much when you're driving covers 4 lanes. Pretty much everything you see in front of you. And of course, this also has nighttime vision. Now for the rear camera, it records at a 1280 by 720p, and it has a 140 degrees wide angle lens, which covers a great amount, which pretty much is going to cover your blind spots. It also has an f1.8 aperture, and it does have nighttime vision. Now with the nighttime vision, you get these 4 LED lights that are all around the dash cam or the rear dash cam. Okay, and what happens when it's at night, they brighten up. That way you can record a good picture. Now, you're not going to have a great picture, okay, because this is 720p. It's not a 1080p or full HD. It's a 720. So what you're going to do is you're going to get, in case an accident, somebody hits you from behind, you're going to get that footage, or somebody backs up into your vehicle, whatever it is, you're going to get the footage, okay? You may not be able to see the license plate, and especially at nighttime, it's not that great. You'll get to see what happened, but it's not a 1080p. Now for the price, it's still a good value. Now this is also waterproof, and when you're recording, it simultaneously records the front and rear dash camera. You don't have to do anything. It records them both at the same time. So when you're reviewing your footage, sometimes there'll be a front and back separate files, or one is for front and 2 is for rear camera. I haven't seen any footage yet, but that's usually how it comes out. All right, that was the specs. Now let's go over some of the features. Now this does have high dynamic range, which is also known as HDR technology. So what this does is balances the lighting. If it's too dark or too bright, the HDR technology balances it all. Pretty much it's like this. If you don't have the HDR technology set and you're driving at night or even at daytime and you're facing the sun, well, in your footage, it looks like somebody is shining a flashlight on you because you have this big glare. Well, the HDR technology balances the lighting to get you a good picture. Now, this also comes with loop recording, which you could set this, I believe, is 1 minute, 3 minute, and 5 minute loop recordings. Now, to me, I always set mine to the highest settings. Like mine is usually set to 5 minutes because that's less files I have to review in case I need to go back to a file. Now, if I got this 20-minute span I need to go to, well, if I set my dash cam to 5-minute loop recordings, that's only 4 recordings. If I set it to 1-minute loop recordings, well, that's 20 1-minute videos I gotta review. So I'd rather just keep it low and I'll put mine to 5 minutes. The way loop recording works is like this. It deletes the oldest video so you could start recording a new video. You don't have to take out the micro SD card, format it, or format the dash cam or anything. It does it automatically for you. You don't have to do anything. So just know it's a peace of mind is continuous recording. But G-Sensor and loop recording go hand in hand. The more locked files you have because of G-Sensor, the less room you have for loop recording. But if you need more information on loop recording, I'm going to put a link on the top right for you. And I recommend that you see this because this is good information for you. All right, next we have G-Sensor, which we just talked about. Now, G-Sensor, you can set this to low, medium, or high. So what G-Sensor is if when you're driving and a car hits you, well, the dash cam will lock the current file and it will not be overridden. And you can use this file with the insurance claims, and which means you have a peace of mind that you have proof that it was not your fault. Now with G-Sensor, I talked about locked files, okay? Now if you're driving and you see an incident, well, you could push a button on your dash cam and it will save that file and it will not be overridden because you locked that current file, okay? Now the only way to get rid of these locked files if you format your dash cam completely. Now, loop recording will not overwrite these locked files. They will always be on your dash cam. But if you have too many locked files, well, there's no room for loop recording. Now, what else can cause your G-Sensor to be active? Well, there's potholes. When you're driving and you hit a pothole, it shakes, and the G-Sensor will activate and lock that file. Same thing with speed bumps, hard braking, aggressive driving, all that comes to play. That's why it gives you some settings to low, medium, or high. If you have a lot of potholes or speed bumps in your area, then you want to set this to low. If you're an aggressive driver with hard braking, set it to low. If you're not sure, set it to medium. Go back after a month. If you don't have too many locked files, great, keep it like that. But if you have a lot of locked files, then you want to set this to low. But there's a lot more involved in G-Sensor, so I'll recommend to watch this other video that I put in the top right for you, and it goes all about G-Sensor. Okay, next we have motion detection. So what this does, if your car is parked and somebody walks in front of you or a car walks in front of you, depending, you need it because you're a certain area you're in. Well, every time that happens, it will turn on and it'll record a small video. Now this video could be anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds because the dash cam itself only has a small charge. So the more people that pass or cars, well, you're not going to be able to record them all because it only has a 30-second charge to 1 minute charge. So you're not going to get a lot of them. But this is a good feature if you need it. But to take full advantage of it, you need a hardwire kit. That way your dash cam stays on all the time, which goes into parking monitoring. Parking monitoring is also involved with your G-Sensor. Now what happens if somebody bumps your car while walking, if you have it set to high, well, it's going to record that video and it'll turn on and give a small video and you can see what happens. Now parking monitoring, again, with it works with your G-Sensor. So when you park your car and say like a garage, okay, you're going on a trip or something, well, you can set your G sensor to high. That way you get all the incidents you need, because it's not going to be loop recording. Loop recording is not going to be on, because what happens is parking monitoring turns on the camera and then it takes a small recording. But realistically, you probably want to use a hardwire kit again, all right, and set your G sensor to high. But when you're done with the parking monitoring and motion detection, set your G sensor back to low. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on here with these dash cams. They have a lot of good features, but you got to know how to work them. Now, if you want 24-hour parking monitoring or motion detection, you need a hardwire kit. Now, what is a hardwire kit? Well, what it does, it connects to your fuse box and it keeps power on all the time to your dash cam. But it also has a device that would not kill your battery. Because if you put it in to a socket where it's on all the time, because there is some power sockets in your car that will stay on all the time. And if you put it to that power socket, well, it's going to kill your battery. A hardwire kit would not kill your battery. Now, if you need information on how to install one, I'll put a link in the description down below so you can know how to install one in case you need one. Now, this also has audio off or on, which is your preference. It's just if you want to record the audio in your car, then put it on. If you don't, you could turn it off. You just have that option. Another option you have is date stamp, where you can put the date on your footage. That way you know exactly what day and time the footage is, especially when in an accident or when you send it to insurance, you want that information on there. So date stamp is great. Now this also comes with the screensaver, which means you could set this to 1 minute, 2 minute, or 3 minutes. Now what I do is I set my screensaver to the maximum time. So which means is when I turn my vehicle on, dash cam comes on, screen comes on, and then about 3 minutes later the screen turns off. But in my mind, a peace of mind, I saw the dash cam comes on, so I know it's working. Of course the dash cams will be working all the time, but it's just a peace of mind for me that it's on. Now this dash cam is also 360 degrees turn on it. So if you're driving or you get pulled over by police or road rage, okay, and you're driving, and of course the dash cam is facing forward, but the individual's on your window, the driver's side window. Well, all you got to do is just get your dash cam, turn it, and you could film the individual there. Make sure your audio is on. That way you could get the audio from the incident and what's going on. So that is a great feature this dash cam has. Now this does have a built-in lithium battery, again, which is a small charge. You're not going to get no hour or 30 minutes or 5-minute charge. You're going to get anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. A minute will be pushing it really. You're not going to get that much of a time on this. That's why you really do need a hardwire kit. But most of us don't really need it. We just need it when we're driving. Well, that's all we need it for, just to catch all the driving footage we got. Most of us has these smart cameras at our home, and that captures everything for us. The operating temperature for this dash cam is -4 Fahrenheit up to 158 Fahrenheit. So what it means is if during the summer, the camera is not going to melt. The power socket is DC at 5 volts, which is pretty much what your power socket is in your vehicle. So this is compatible pretty much with all vehicles there. Okay, we went over some specs, we went over some features. Now let's get into some driving footage and see what you think. Okay, what you think of that driving footage? I know the rear camera wasn't great, but you could see how you could actually get the video of what's going on behind you. So if you have an incident happening behind you, if somebody crashes you from the back, you have that video footage, which is better than no footage. And this is a great budget camera for that price where you get a front and rear dash camera. All right, so we went over the specs, we went over the features, you saw some driving footage. So if this dash cam is right for you, I'll put links in the description down below. You got additional questions or comments about this dash cams or any products I have? leave them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you. If you want to support this channel by donating, I'll put links in the description down below for Patreon or even a donation through PayPal. And I thank you for your donations. And if this video was helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. You know I appreciate that for you and it really helps the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and select all notifications for all upcoming videos because I'm also going to have the installation for this product, the unboxing, and I'm going to go over the menu. So there's several more videos coming out for this. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.